Hey everybody, Eric Worre here, and welcome to Social Media Mastery using LinkedIn. Most of you are getting this because you're part of the Social Media Mastery course in total, and this is part of your continuing education, learning different platforms. Some of you are coming directly here through some other form, and if you're not a member of Social Media Mastery, a step-by-step guide to expanding your network marketing business through social media, then you need to upgrade at some point to that because there's so much information in there. Now, let me tell you what we're about to do. I'm here with Nathan Kievman.
Hello.
How you doing, Nathan?
Good. Good to see you.
Nathan's my buddy. We've known each other a long time, and my intention here in creating this course is to find the best people I possibly know who understand network marketing and understand these different platforms, and they can help the Network Marketing Pro community utilize both of those skill sets in order to be able to get better results.
That's right.
Okay, so we want people to understand LinkedIn. If you're here, you're curious like I am. I'm a big Facebook guy. Right, so that's the like home base. Even the stuff like Snapchat, I totally don't understand. Instagram's okay, but I don't do a lot with it. Twitter, I've never really gotten much traction with. But I mean, I got a lot of followers in those different places. But so tell me why, as we start here, LinkedIn can help these people grow a business. Why LinkedIn? What's going on with it? Why is it? What makes it powerful? And then we're going to talk about we follow the same flow that we do with the Social Media Mastery in general, which is how do you build your brand on LinkedIn? How do you build a following, build connection with other people? How do you convert those people into prospects in an elegant way? How do you convert those prospects into distributors or customers? How do you do the rest of the stuff that we're going to do? So let's start the conversation, and I'm going to pass it to you, and I'm going to throw you questions. I'm going to act like I'm them, being completely clueless.
Sure.
So I have a LinkedIn profile, but frankly, for this exercise, the purpose here is to have a platform for you to find more prospects.
That's right.
Right? Yep. That's your purpose. It's not for you to just put your resume out to the world necessarily. The purpose is to create more conversations with people who are qualified to either be your customer or be your distributor, right?
That's right.
All right. So talk to people about why they should consider LinkedIn with all the other options they have available. What makes it unique?
Well, LinkedIn is a 500 million person platform, members in it right now from all around the world. And I think the most unique thing about LinkedIn for me, Eric, is that you can use LinkedIn from absolutely no relationships in the world. Use LinkedIn, build a good brand, and from doing that, you can literally create conversations with anybody in the world that is on the platform within a day or so. It's really, really powerful like that. And so from a network marketing standpoint, or a networking kind of point of view, LinkedIn is an opportunity for you to network with just about anybody you want to network with, as long as you understand the networking skills and a lot of
skills and rules and kind of the etiquette.
The etiquette, the approach.
Inside of this platform.
Right, the do's and don'ts, the best practices.
And we're going to talk about all that stuff.
Yeah, there's a lot.
So we're going to be going through all of this in as much detail as you can handle. And we also have a downloadable workbook that goes along with this course that you can go through step by step by step with a lot of the strategies that we're going to talk about, maybe even more detail inside that workbook, right?
That's right.
Okay. Yeah. So let's get started.
Great. Well, let me begin with this, is that as a network marketer, you need to have the end in mind, because any platform is full of little kind of pitfalls that could just drag you in and you lost an hour or two of your life because you just got busy with something. And it's nothing to do with what you're trying to achieve. So like any platform in social media, but particularly in LinkedIn, you really have to know your purpose. You got to understand why you're there and who it is that you want to talk to. So part of the starting point is that. And so I'm going to go ahead and go through some of these slides here, if I may. And what we're going to cover today are the following modules. The first is, what is LinkedIn? Why is LinkedIn important right now? And what is it really all about? The second is, how do we build our brand in social media? how do we build our brand on LinkedIn specifically, which is what we're going to talk about with the profiles and so forth, we'll get into in great detail. And then the third step in the module here is how do we grow your network of friends, followers, and fans? And in LinkedIn, it's really connections is the focus and the word that we're going to talk about, and then a few members of your groups if that's something that you end up deciding to follow. The fourth module is how do we convert people that are in your network now, became your connections, how do we convert those people into prospects that are legitimately looking at your opportunity or your product? And then the fifth step is how do we convert those prospects once we have them into customers and distributors? And then the last two here is do we use LinkedIn to train with our and communicate with our team or not? That's something we'll talk about really quickly. And then my favorite part of this entire program actually is the last stage, which is how do we duplicate? Because once you've figured out those 3, 4, and 5 here, guys, the 7th becomes really easy for you and your team, and the duplication of that becomes very systematic. And we'll walk through those step-by-step processes.
So let me just there's kind of the global use of LinkedIn, and then there's network marketing use.
Right.
Okay. So if I'm going to try and understand the global use, this is where a person puts their resume. This is where a person connects with they network. It's like it's like an online BNI group almost. You're going to help network with other people. You're going to give other people business. You're going to support other people. You're just going to build relationship and connection, right? But that's what people do if they're a senior VP of some company.
Right.
They're going to put that up there, and all of their resume type stuff is there. And the people that they do business with go check that out, and they check out other people they're doing business with. And it's this professional networking thing.
Yeah.
Am I accurate there?
Yeah, LinkedIn is built for resumes, right? That was the original idea of LinkedIn was to be a job platform. Right.
And then it turned into a networking thing.
Absolutely.
Right.
Yeah.
So for our purposes inside of network marketing, we're viewing this as a platform where we can specifically target and find quality prospects.
That's right. Absolutely.
So for them, it's maybe one use. For us, it's another use.
That's right. Yep.
So we're going to use this because they're self-identifying to be able to reach out, connect, talk to, communicate with, and hopefully educate about what it is that we have.
That's right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great. So talk about the size of this network.
All right, so I mentioned it's almost 500 million people. It will fast surpass this number. Quickly getting to the billion target that they're shooting for here. But what's really interesting about this slide, and if you can take a quick look at it, is the spread around the world of what we have in terms of volume. I have a great story of a friend who just joined network marketing, and she was really interested in targeting people in Sweden. And she said, well, how do I do that? Like, what do I do?
She didn't live in Sweden.
She didn't live in Sweden. She lived in France. And so she wanted to market to Sweden. She wanted to market to coaches. That was the people she wanted to talk with. And so what she did was we looked at this graphic, actually. You see there's 2 million people in Sweden. And we said, all right, well, let's take that 2 million. Let's go on to LinkedIn. And we built out a little search list, which I'll show you guys how to do here in a little bit. And she found coaches. She found over 600 coaches in Sweden that she could specifically reach out to and target to have a conversation with. In the first month, she ended up
she targeted 50, right?
She targeted 50 the first month. She had, I don't remember the exact number that said yes, it's typically around 30 to 40 people will say yes to that conversation. And of that, she actually is in the middle of conversation with over 7 people right now that are talking to her about her opportunity and the business that she's involved with.
So it's just a way to create action and activity when there maybe wouldn't have been.
Absolutely. She had no access, she had no relationship, she had nothing in Sweden, and then instantly within the first 30 days.
So if you live in a small town, or if you've burnt out your warm market, or you're scared to death to talk to friends and family right now, even though you have a gift for them, or maybe you've tried 5 different network marketing things before, and you're insecure about talking to the people that you know about the 6th one,
right?
Even though it might be the end all be all, the thing you're going to take to the top. Sometimes this is just a confidence booster.
That's right.
To have somebody to talk to and practice with, even, or practice on, if you need to.
Yeah.
Okay.
If you fail, you fail.
You got 500 million people that you can target and you can segment.
That's right.
All right.
Any way you want.
All right.
Any way you want. So let's go. Let's talk to a couple other points. Now, the really interesting thing about LinkedIn is its structure. I'm going to talk about that here, but it allows you just to wrap up the why LinkedIn. Find anybody. You can use your own untapped potential, which you just talked about here, Eric. And
what do you mean by untapped potential?
So I think that what's really interesting is that people don't analyze who they have influence over that often. They just want to talk in network marketing. Just talk to everybody. You know,
Right.
I go to the grocery store, I'm going to talk to everybody I can. But in LinkedIn, you can pick who you talk to. And you can't talk to all of them. There's just too many people. So who do you want to talk to? And so this requires people to really look at who they are. What's their background? Are they a stay-at-home mom? Are they a student? Are they, are they a director of tech? Are they, an employee that's coming out of the employment world? Whatever your story is, there's a lot of people on LinkedIn just like that. Go find them, tell that story, share that story with them. That's the untapped potential that I'm talking about here.
Okay.
And then the other opportunity, and I think this is really interesting, is that there's a lot of executives in the rat race that don't love their job. They're
looking for a
in
better
the
way.
grind. They're looking for that better way. And I think LinkedIn is the best platform to find those people. Absolutely.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And you have strategies to do that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Cool. Let's keep
Great.
moving.
Okay. So what is LinkedIn? It's your professional brand of the world. So Eric mentioned that it was a CV, it was your resume, but really what it is, it's your professional brand of the world. It's like a personal resume. And if you do it right, you can create that trust, that credibility, that authority, that uniqueness. When somebody visits your profile, you really want them to walk away thinking, that person's interesting. I wouldn't mind talking to them.
And do me a favor, do not go start doing this until you watch the rest of this course.
Thank you. Yeah.
Because you will mess it up and you will screw up your potential to be able to reach people. So many people are making mistakes, and he's going to guide you on what to say and what not to say, and as you're building that professional brand. Okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And especially don't start communicating to everybody until that's done.
Yes.
Because
Yes.
I think that's what you're
Be
really going to
patient
do.
for a second.
Yeah. Okay. We mentioned it's a global repository of almost 500 million professionals. And then it's the largest and best professional networking site in the world. So perfect for us, right? Now what LinkedIn is and oops, I'm gonna go back here one slide. So what is LinkedIn? Did we miss it? There we go. So I'm sorry. So I have a couple bullet points I want to just touch on because it's really important to understand the structure of LinkedIn. And I'm not going to overwhelm you, you guys, with like all the details of how intense LinkedIn is and the structure of it. But I think if you understand the structure of LinkedIn, then you can really begin to understand how it works, what it looks like, what it's all about. And so to really think about LinkedIn, I'll just do a high level on this. You're talking about LinkedIn and looking at it. There's 5 total categories. One we're not going to talk about because one is jobs. It's like for the job search,
People
the job
search.
hunt.
Well, but I would say for the part-time network marketing person,
It's powerful.
they might be looking for something while they're building their network marketing business, and this could give them a platform to be able to find it.
And this will help you. If you do the branding side of it, it will help you in the job search. So
Okay.
there is a job function of LinkedIn, which you can go check out if that's something that you're interested in, but we're not going to talk about it today.
Got it.
So the first is you have to understand that LinkedIn is about your profile. That's your professional brand we just mentioned, right? So your profile is one. 2 is groups. There's this whole world of these communities of different groups of people that gather on LinkedIn in these small communities.
Groups of coaches, groups of nutritionists,
marketers,
groups of
CEOs, it could
travel
be anything.
agents, or whatever.
Yeah, and we're going to dive in. There's 4 types of groups. We'll talk about what those are later on and how those are important to you and how they relate to your networking business. Okay, the third is company pages. Now, company pages is where you put your company profile, but we're not talking about your
Not the name of your network marketing company.
That's right. Not that.
This might be your little LLC.
Your
or,
coaching practice, your business practice, your consulting, whatever, however you've positioned yourself.
Yes, and we're going to talk about that too. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. And then the third and the fourth, is marketing. And marketing is a category because marketing is really broken down into 2 primary functions, content and direct response. So what we're going to focus most of this entire conversation around is the direct response because that's the best way and the fastest way to build your business. There's content side of LinkedIn is less impactful because executives on LinkedIn don't use the platform for content like they would on Facebook and other platforms. But we'll talk about that.
Let me summarize this. What LinkedIn provides you is an opportunity for you to put your personal brand out there.
Yep.
Put your business brand, however you want to position it out there. To engage with groups and target and engage with groups.
That's right.
And then to market, either through putting content like blogging type stuff like you do on Facebook, or being able to directly connect with people.
That's right.
Okay, got it.
And there's a variety of ways to do that. We'll go through those as we get deeper into this.
Great.
Okay. So
Let's talk about building the brand. You know, let's get in there and figure out how to What's the best way to do that and not make mistakes?
Well, you have a lot of insights on this, Eric, and we're gonna lean on
Well,
you
I
a
do
bit.
generally, but I don't know the LinkedIn rules.
Well, it's not terribly different, guys. I mean, how you brand yourself around Facebook and other social platforms is very similar on LinkedIn. So the real important part to understand about LinkedIn is that you're branding yourself, not your company. You're branding yourself as a lifestyle expert or whatever it might be, whatever that looks
But it
like.
could be your interests and passions too,
It can
right?
be. Yeah, it can be about your passions. Like I know, like
You could call
know,
yourself a small business owner who's passionate about travel and fashion
Absolutely.
and cooking and kids,
the whole works. Yeah, absolutely.
right? So so it doesn't have to be. You don't have to make up some. I'm a blankety blank consultant, because if you're not.
No, but a lot will say entrepreneur, right?
Yeah.
Or
I'm an entrepreneur. I'm a small business owner, or I'm a business builder, or whatever it is you want to brand yourself as.
Yeah.
You could do a lifestyle and nutritionist,
expert.
coach, that type of thing. You pick it based upon what you've got going on, but those are some ideas as far as what you could do.
Yeah, and really think through this, because how you position yourself needs to keep the end in mind. We've mentioned that before. I'm going to keep reiterating that, which is who is it that you want to build into your team? Who are the types of people you want to join your organization?
And we go a lot deeper on this in the Social Media Mastery master course, the core curriculum, as far as how to identify what your brand is and position yourself in it.
Yeah.
But here, I mean, what I would say is, what is it that you generally do? Not the title, but what is it that you do? You help people go into business for themselves, or you consult with people who are looking to create some certain result.
Right.
Whether it's through your product or through your opportunity or whatever it is. And then also the other things in there that are going to attract people is if you're passionate about nutrition or health or alternative medicine or travel or fashion or parenting, or you pick it.
Right.
Those different things will help people find you.
That will, and really one of the things that we teach as a company to Fortune companies down to everyday consultants is there's 5 triggers that people will give you 15 minutes for. And these 5 triggers are trust and credibility as one trigger. So how do you establish trust and credibility, authority with your market? The second is your story. So it's your why, your purpose, what are you doing, what you're doing it, and why are you doing it? And then the last 3 are really interesting. This is where most marketers miss, which is time, money, and risk. You see, I'm not going to get on the phone with just anybody. It might be a nice story, and that might be complimentary, but I'm on a mission, I'm doing my thing, I'm on a purpose, I'm on a direction. So if I'm going to get on the phone, I want to know, well, what's the value of our conversation in terms of time, money, and risk? Now, this is really deep. We don't have time probably right now to dive into it.
Go ahead a little bit.
All right, so on the time side of things, how do you help somebody in terms of time? What is it? If in network marketing, it's lifestyle, right? We're giving them freedom of time by refocusing their efforts. If they're stuck in the rat race.
I viewed, when you talked about time, I thought you were saying, in order for people to engage, you'd have to let them know it's not going to take that much of their time.
No, it's not it.
So I thought it was that.
It's how they experience time, and then how do you relate to that?
Got it.
Right. So it's a little different than that, and so, but that can help. But it's not
their interest in having more
time
of their time on their terms.
Right, absolutely. More time on their terms. Perfect. So, and then money is the same kind of thing. It was perfect. I mean, network marketing is perfectly aligned with these because we're really addressing all 3 of them, right? So the money is the freedom of passive income and what that can do to their life. What can that do to change their entire world if they're an employee or if they're whatever, coaching. There's all kinds of businesses that don't have passive income. So how do you talk to that point?
Yeah, one thing I've learned in network marketing is not everybody wants to start a business, but everyone wants extra cash flow.
That's right. Everybody.
No matter how big your business is, you want extra cash flow and you're interested in that. So you're interested in having that conversation. So okay, so money's the second and third.
Yeah, and the risk. So what is the minimization of risk? Not it's more about proven system or whatever that might look like for the network marketing.
Like a McDonald's would be more of a comfort level if somebody could afford it.
Yeah.
Than starting up your own restaurant in the strip mall.
Right.
With your own name and your own system.
Yeah, exactly. And so, and really the whole platform is built on questions, and we'll talk about that later when we get to that section, but you're really good on the if I, then you, right? So the risk conversation around that is really pertinent. So
Okay.
how you craft those three things into a single statement is really powerful. So follow me with this. So if you say, who I help, ... Right?
In your profile.
So this is in your summary, not your headline, but in your summary.
In your summary.
I help
Here's who I help.
XYZ
Okay.
do XYZ. So really generically, how do you help them? What do you do? Like really in a very simple
Help
phrase.
these people do this thing.
Yeah, right. So they can time, money, risk. So they can, save time.
So do it again, and everybody take notes with this.
Mm-hmm.
I help people blank so they can blank.
So no, I help people blank do blank. So the generic thing. So people need to put you in a box. They need to understand the box you're
So
coming
for
from.
example, I help people who struggle with this and this and this.
Mm-hmm.
Do or accomplish or achieve or
Become an
whatever,
entrepreneur.
Become this solution.
So they can.
I help people with this problem.
Mm-hmm.
Create this solution. Right?
Yep.
So they can
get this benefit.
time,
Money, risk.
so they can have more free time on their terms,
Mm-hmm.
increase their household cash flow or
Yep.
whatever,
Mm-hmm.
and
Based on a proven system.
based upon a proven, predictable system.
Yeah. Perfect.
Okay.
Yeah. So that phrase now allows you to kind of crack the code and create that curiosity, that intrigue that you need to, and very quickly in one little paragraph. And so that needs to be in your summary.
So is that
needs
in
to
the
be-
workwork somewhere?
Well, yeah, we'll put. If it's not, we'll make sure it
Okay,
is.
make sure it's in the workbook.
Okay.
Because that's really important, that this structure here, because this is a structure that you can utilize in all of your social media platforms.
Absolutely. In fact, when we do this with clients that we work with, we craft this. This becomes the cornerstone of all of their marketing and everything they do. They put it on their website, they put it in their communications, they put it in their proposals. It becomes everything. And so for us,
It's like their mission statement almost.
it gives people a very quick context of if I'm right
can
for
you help
you,
me?
yeah, real quickly, and then it also then it allows you to understand how it benefits me personally as the recipient of that message. And it's not for everybody, right? You might use it to exclude people in your who I help, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's a way to do that as well. So this is really powerful. So if you guys understand this, this is really, really key to your branding on LinkedIn, but then it will help you in all the other places that you do marketing as well. Great.
All right, make a note. That's got to make sure we
That's
end
in
up
there.
in the workbook.
Okay.
Okay,
Got
good.
it.
That's awesome. All right, next.
Awesome. So what that statement does, it creates a power of intrigue and curiosity. And that's what we really need to, we need people to visit your profile and say like, wow, that person's pretty amazing. Like, whether that's like, for me, it's a little different because I'm a consultant. I have a lot of companies I've worked with. When people scroll down and see all the people that I've worked with, they're like, wow, this guy kind of knows what he's doing, right? Or it could be something around the results that you've delivered.
So you don't give them all the information. You give them benefit, but you don't give them exactly how you do it.
Oh, no, not on my profile. No, I don't say all the details on the profile. Profile is about creating the power and the intrigue and the curiosity. And then that power statement that we just, that thing we just created, that little, three-step part, it's called a power statement. You build a power statement for yourself, it becomes the power of your business.
Got it.
All right, so that's it for the profiles. That branding is really important. Now, there's one other way to do branding, which is groups. Now, this is not for everybody. This may or may not be for you, but I want to touch on it because if you do use it, it can become very powerful. And I'll start with a story, which is a friend of mine who started a health and wellness group. And she had the vision, her networking business was in health and wellness space. And she had the vision of creating a great community of people to talk about a certain topic and then create that influence and be the authority because she was the owner of the group. So it took her over 6 months to get just to 1,000 members. It was a little grind, but now it's over 114,000 members a few years later. And it's not because the group's name, it wasn't because of the positioning or the timing, it was because of the engagement. And we're going to talk a lot about that in one of the later modules in the engagement. But the positioning of groups is really important. So I'm going to tell you about the 4 styles of groups that we have on LinkedIn. Okay, so the first type of group on LinkedIn is what's called a topical group. Topic would be network marketing, right? Or it could be health and wellness. Those are
Probably, like a network marketing is probably not a good topic for these.
Probably not, no.
No, so talking, if you're about your product or service or entrepreneurship or small business or
Any of those things.
solopreneurs, work from home,
Right. So if you wanted to focus on the distributor side, it would be like around entrepreneurship, that sort of stuff. If it was on the product side, it would be around the solution that provided,
Right.
not what it was.
Right.
Right.
Okay.
So skincare, cancer, whatever that might look like. So, so those are topical. Now there's also categorical. Categorical would be your title, CEO, marketer, whatever else there is. Now, those are the two primary types of groups. Now there's a third group which is really powerful, and especially for network marketers, if you can do this in your regional area, it will be very powerful, is networking groups. So networking groups are just the purpose of networking. That's the sole purpose of them. And so there's a huge, huge demand for networking groups in communities, in regional areas that are good. And so if you create exclusivity, you create value in it, you have some local leaders and people that people align with already invited into the group, and then you create it, you'll have a successful group even now as the platform is becoming more mature. And then the fourth is corporate, which we don't really need to talk about. It's just more for employees. So those are the four types of groups. My favorite group is a combination of topical and categorical together. So it's a little bit more niche.
Okay, got it. So your profile, give quickly the do's and don'ts of a profile.
So
I love the power statement.
Yep, power statement.
But the do's and don'ts, the photo, just the basics, fundamental stuff.
So we're going to actually provide a video of a whole program on how to optimize your profile as part of the course.
Cool.
So you guys will have this whole walkthrough thing, but I'm going to give you the five most important things on your profile that you need to pay attention to. So the first is your picture. I'm going to actually go to my computer here and show you guys. I'm going to show you Eric's profile. Actually, can I show mine?
Show yours.
I'll show mine. Okay, so
yours is better than mine.
I've spent a little more time on it. So, but that's okay. We'll get yours up to date too. So the profile photo is really important. Now, they just moved this around. So right now, which direction you look doesn't matter as much. Where the profile picture used to be over on the left corner, we would have people kind of look to their left and down into the page to invite them in. But right now, just have a nice professional looking photo. We don't have to have a suit and tie, but just professional. This is not the place for your beach photo or your travel, in the air photo or anything like that, or in front of an airplane photo.
Right.
This is just your professional headshot. Okay, so the next thing I will talk about is your professional headline. So this is actually, over your photo, the most important part of your entire LinkedIn profile. This is your 8-second elevator pitch. This is where you have the opportunity to influence people, to create intrigue and curiosity.
That's where you put your power statement, or no?
You can't do it, it's too long. It's a 120 character limit with spaces. So what we're really looking at here is really refining a statement. I'll walk you through a couple of best practices on this real quick if you guys like that. But this is really important because anywhere, if anybody that uses Gmail.
It could be I help people, go into business for themselves.
Yeah, it can be a statement like that, or it can be more of like, mine's not a statement. Mine's more, if you look at mine,
credibility oriented.
Credibility. So it's like trust and authority on the front end. And then the second thing I put, so if you look at mine, it says, world-renowned LinkedIn expert and strategist, because I speak around the world. I work with Fortune companies down to everyday people. But then that doesn't really mean a lot. So what's the general thing that I do? Well, I'm a digital lead generation specialist. That's my generic thing that I do. So in network marketing, it might be like I help build entrepreneurs, or whatever that generic statement might be for you. The front end would be something more around your personal brand. What makes you uniquely qualified or unique in some way, shape, or form. And then the last thing was performance. For me, I had to differentiate myself from all my competition. I happen to have a lot of results. So financially, I've delivered a lot. I can say something like 300 million earned for our clients. But that's not something that our network marketers are going to say. They would say something.
They could do something.
They could definitely find some way to do it.
Award-winning.
Award-winning.
If you've achieved an award, you got some recognition, you got something.
Yeah, in your practice and your organization.
In your business,
make it general. Don't make it about your company. Even though there was an award, you can just talk about the award. If people ask you about it, that creates the curiosity, which is great. That's what we're trying to do. So it's really whatever this is in this phrase here is something that needs to be unique to you. Now, I had a network marketer who had literally nothing. She just could not figure it out. This is where we leverage our upline, our company's experience, leverage other resources that we have, because you can take from those successes and you can make them your own because it's part of the same focus and group. So in her case, she didn't have an upline to really work towards that was worth talking about. So what she did is she went and got a part-time commission-only role with a very well-renowned newspaper magazine with Millionaire in it, and she put that in her profile, and now she gets conversations like crazy. It was really pretty creative on her end. So she created alignment with an already authoritative brand, and then by having that brand, she was able to create conversations at will, basically.
Right.
Yeah. So the next piece is your summary. We're not going to dive into this too much. This is where you put your power statement. I'm a big believer in putting some bullets in there. People that I work with. You can or you don't have to do that. This is really up to you. It's your own personal style, whatever you prefer to do here. What I would say is that in your summary, the first part is about you personal, is about what you're doing right now, like with entrepreneurs or whatever that might be. The second piece might be about your past or whatever it is that you've done or your expertise. The third piece would be about trust and credibility, authority in the market. This is what's called, the bullets that I have are what's called a Me Too statement. Now, this is really advanced, and it's hard for people to think about because most people want to say somebody that's dealing with this kind of problem. But it's not really what we're looking for. We're looking for something that aligns. So when somebody reads those bullets, they say, hey, that's me. I don't know if I'm a good fit for talking to you, but I want to have a conversation. And so by doing that, you're creating alignment, and we want to create alignment with people that visit our profile. So pretty dynamic. And then the last two pieces can just be personal, something fun, make it casual. Mine's not exactly that way, but but that's okay. Add some videos if you have them. If you don't. I wouldn't recommend putting like your opportunity video here or your product video, guys. Don't do that. But if there's something about you that builds your own personal brand, then put that here. If you don't, then don't worry about it. All right, and then really that's it. There's a bunch of other areas on LinkedIn's profiles that you can fill out. The last thing I would just say is personalize your email and your websites so that they go to the right links. Make sure those are correct, and then you're good to go.
Okay.
Cool.
All right, got it. So you're going to be, and you can rewind and rewatch what he just went through as far as a structure of personal, what's right now, business, credibility, any of that kind of stuff. And it's going to take a little creativity to do this, but not a lot.
Yeah, it's not that hard.
I mean, here's my biggest suggestion to you. As far as a 1, 2, 3. I'm the simple guy, right?
Make it easy.
1, put up a good photo. 2, come up with a decent headline that does not mention your company name or your products or network marketing. That talks in terms of benefit and credibility of what a person can get. And 3, just put something in that profile talking about this power statement as he described. And you can add to that later as you get there, but don't feel like it has to be perfect.
Have them tell their story.
Tell your story, but keep it general. Here's the real don't mention your company, don't mention your product, don't mention I'm looking for 3 people to recruit into my network marketing business. Don't mention that. We're going to be attracting these people into this structure. We're not going to be hammering people from inside out. We're going to be making connections, but when they check this out, they want to go, I want that benefit, I want that benefit, I want that benefit, without prejudging what it is that we have. Because our goal is education and understanding. That's our goal, is to educate the people that we connect with to the point that they understand what we have. And we want to do that with the least amount of preconceptions possible during the process.
Yep.
That's our goal, okay? And they'll say yes or they'll say no based upon their own life situation. But that's what we're looking to do. So you'll understand more about not putting your brand as far as your company name, your network marketing company that you work with, or the products that you're involved with, specific names in there, or pitching people inside of your summary to join your business, because people will immediately prejudge and they'll tune you out. Or they won't accept the connection and that kind of stuff.
Right.
And you want to build a good reputation inside of this platform of a giver, of somebody who's really networking and helping other people, and who's educating people who are looking for solutions in their lives. That's what we're trying to do in the branding.
Yeah, and that will help.
Does that summarize it?
That's amazing.
Okay,
Well
great.
Well said.
All right, so let's move on to the next piece.
We'll skip company pages, content marketing.
Yeah, you're going to add stuff to there like you add to Facebook and everything else. But the first piece of this is just get a brand platform. You don't have to have a perfect. You don't have to hire a consultant for this. You've already hired us to be able to give you some strategies here. So now, once you have a base for this, you'll continue to tweak it, right?
Oh yeah.
How many times have you tweaked yours?
Every few months.
Every, tweak, add something here, add something there, something cool that you've done.
Also think of it in terms of campaigns. Like if you're targeting one group of people, you might tweak your profile to fit that group of people.
Right.
And then later on you switch markets, then you would switch your profile.
Yeah, I mean, like this lady looking for coaches.
In Sweden.
What kind of coaches?
Life coaches.
Life coaches. She's looking for life coaches. So, that her profile could start to read, I help life coaches leverage the power of their business and double and triple their profits.
That's right.
Something like that.
Easy way to get them to say yes to a conversation.
And like, oh, okay, well, I want that.
Right. Pretty straightforward.
So let's talk about, now that you got a platform, and again, just start today. Open up a LinkedIn, log in, set up an account. If you already have one set up, just take a few minutes and start with a profile.
That's right.
Now, do you need to pay for like expert level, or do you just sign in?
Not for that.
But should somebody at some point?
So I'm a personal believer that you should have, if you're going to use the platform professionally and you want to use it to the highest of its ability, then you want to upgrade to the professional version of LinkedIn.
And that's how much?
You can go as cheap as $24 a month, as high as a couple $100 a month. So depending. The difference is how many profiles you can view. So if you're going to be sending more than a few hundred a month, then you're going to probably want to go to the higher number.
But you can start with this, and then you can reach out to some people and start some conversation. Go, oh, this is working, and then you can upgrade from there.
Yeah.
Okay, great. So now that you got this, how do you build these connections?
All right.
How do you get these conversations happening?
Well, obviously the branding was a big part of everything that's to follow. So that's a huge key component of everything we're talking about now. Now, so this part, and to highlight that, going into this section particularly, is really, let me go through some of the bullets here and pull these up. So we're going to talk about here how to use LinkedIn to find anyone, anywhere, anytime, and with purpose. So I'm going to talk about the advanced search feature and how do we find people. We're going to talk about connecting with purpose and proper messaging a little bit. What do we say in an invitation? Not the follow-up messages to get them on the phone, but just to get them to say yes to connecting. And then we're going to talk about building through engaging group members as another way to do that. Sorry. So there we go. So let's talk about the first one. I'm going to jump over to my slides really quick. Or not my slides, my computer. I'm sorry. So if you remember, you got to think of LinkedIn as a big search database. Okay, it gives you all these ways that we can search for people. Now, they made it a little more complicated because they removed the title searches and then they put it all up here in this top bar that you see right now. And so what you're seeing here is what's called a Boolean search. This is really complicated, I'm sorry.
What?
Boolean. So you can look it up on Google. It's a way of writing online in search engines, or it's a way to filter a list down to people that you want to look at. Now, all I'm going to say is I'll keep it real easy. Type in title. You'll see that right here. Title, colon, and then whatever title you want to search for. So nutritionist. Great. So I'm going to pull up, well, let's use this one because it's already written up and the search is done and I don't know how the internet's going to go. So what we have here is we did a life coach, all right, or a business coach, or a sales coach. And I wanted to look for all three of those titles. And so what I did here was I wrote life plus coach, I did a capital R, business coach, or sales coach. Now, if you want to make it real easy, what I would just do is just delete all that, and even the negative filters, which is like filtering it down even more refined, and just do life coach. Make it real easy. Okay, life plus coach, and then anybody with life coach is going to show up in my search results. Now, what a title does is it means this shows up on their profile. So if I go over here to my profile, I'm going to show you guys. Let's come down here. You'll see this is my title: CEO, entrepreneur, LinkedIn expert, digital direct response strategist. This is my current title. So whatever's in here, if I put CEO, then I would show up in that search list, right? If I put entrepreneur, I would show up in that search list because it's a current title. Now, that's what this is searching for. And my apologies, guys, because the internet is.
Are you connected here?
I was. Yep, I'm connected. Just it's not the internet here, guys. LinkedIn is a little slow today for whatever reason. So let me just refresh the page. I'll copy this. We'll go real quick.
All right.
LinkedIn was taking its time pulling up. So if
Must be a massive search.
it's not that
For Life
complicated.
Coach.
No, it's their servers are a little slow today for some reason. It's not their internet. So what I pulled up here is this little constructing more complex queries. This is actually a button that walks you through how LinkedIn does its search and how to find people by different categories. So like this first name field here is really interesting because I know 70% of network marketers are women. So to test it, I have a person that's running a campaign to women in New York, and I met, and she wanted to go after this women's list in the New York City area. And so what she did is she pulled up, and we figured out a strategy to use this first name category, and she pulled up the 100 most popular women's names, and then she turned that into what's called that Boolean search I just showed you, threw it under first name, and then only women showed up in her search in the New York area, which was with a certain title and all that complexity. It was a complex search, but it was really cool. So, so we'll just use this one because I'm not sure if that's going to ever pull through. So this one we just did coach. Now, if we just put coach in, but I don't put title, this is going to search their entire profile. Okay, but if I put title, colon, and space, now it's going to just search their current title. And we don't have, it's not working, so I'm not going to dive into it all that much here. But you'll see this person has head women's lacrosse coach. So we didn't filter out any sports here, so we're getting all kinds. So it would be better to put like life plus coach.
Yeah, but it's all right.
But you get the idea. And then what you'll see over on the right is we can search by different relationships, first, second, or third degree relationships. We can search current companies. There's a couple of networking ones in there already, but you'll see different organizations if you wanted to filter by that. But really all I ever do on this for the networking people that I work with, for network marketers, is we just do title searches and we just do sometimes first name searches, and that's really about it. Now,
Can you search geographically too, though?
oh yeah,
Let's
absolutely.
say I want to contact people within a 3-mile radius or something.
So what we would typically do, so let's say if we were to type something in, we could do Las Vegas, we're here, right? So I just pick Las Vegas, and then it would add that to the search and it would filter anybody that's a coach in Las Vegas would pull up. And I'm not sure this is going to work with the internet speed, but that's what would pull up for us.
Okay, got it.
Got it. So
All right.
still processing.
So that's the process, and where do you Google how to do those? It's Boolean. Spell it.
Yeah, Boolean. Boolean.
L-E-A-N.
Yeah.
Boolean.
Boolean search.
Boolean search.
Yeah.
And you use that process. You can Google that, and it'll tell you how to find the people that you're looking for.
It'll show you how to write the language for the search box on LinkedIn. Now, if you don't want to do that, just purchase the Sales Navigator account for $70 or $90 a month or whatever that is, and it's much easier.
So, the practical stuff now. Let's say I'm involved with a travel company. I'm going to be looking for what? What am I going to be looking for?
Anybody that has travel in their
Travel
title.
somewhere in their
Yeah,
title?
if they have travel.
How
in their
about
title. Agents.
skincare?
Skincare, we could do
Everything from
any
dermatologists,
dermatologist, beauty salon, anybody that works
beauty
at those
salon,
organizations.
skincare, like hair care. You do all the
thing.
salons. You can hit all that.
Shops.
Nutrition, or weight
Yep.
loss, or personal, fitness.
Yep, anybody in those industries. You can focus on the industries to do some of those things. You can focus on titles. So there's a lot of dynamics where you can segment down.
Or you could say, I'm going to focus on dentists.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. Then just
Or
type in
real
dentist.
estate agents.
Real estate agents, just as the title. Yep.
And be able to reach out and make a connection with those people. Hey, I've got a solution for
Now
you.
don't make it plural. Don't say real estate
Dentist.
agents because people don't refer to themselves in the plural, right? So do dentist or real estate agent or realtor.
So
right?
let's say you've figured out, hey, I'm going to go. For whatever reason you want to connect with real estate agents. Okay, so you use this platform, you do the search, you pull it up, you got this huge list,
Yep.
right? And then you're going to maybe
Segment
narrow it
by
to
location.
a city or something.
Yeah.
Or let's say you live here in Las Vegas, but you want to build in Florida.
Right. And do Florida.
Let's say Orlando, Florida. You want to talk to real estate agents in Orlando, Florida. So you find these people.
Yep.
And then what do you do?
All right, so now we have a list. Now if we come back to my screen, it's finally pulled up. I'll give you an idea of what we can do here. So on our screen, you'll see a list shows up. Now this is a big list. We'll just pretend it was a small focus list in Orlando, Florida. what we can do is we can just connect, but don't do this. Okay, don't do this here. If I connect with Mike here, it's gonna, well, I can't because I've got some limits, but if I connect with him, this would just send an invitation to connect. But we don't want to do that. So what we would do is we'd actually open his profile. Oh God, help us.
Why don't you want to do that?
Because that will just send a generic invite that says, join my network. It's not personalized. There's nothing personal to it.
Oh, okay.
So we don't want to do that. What we want to do is we want to be able to hit connect here, and it will pull up an opportunity to write a message. So right here, I have to send with an email address. You won't have to do that.
Why?
So, because I have 30,000 connections.
Oh.
So 30,000 connections is LinkedIn's limit for connections, and beyond that, then they ask you to use email addresses if you're going to connect with anybody beyond that.
Okay,
So-
but up to that,
Most people are fine. Or you can also get this if you've invited too many people the wrong way, they can slap this restriction on you, which will then require email for you to invite anybody to connect.
so where do you get their email? In their profile?
You can't get it. No, that's you just gotta go to somebody else. So the reason this is so important is if that email thing shows up for you, you can ask LinkedIn to remove it, and then they'll ask you to agree to a few things. The reason it shows up is two reasons. One, you have too big of a network, this is my scenario. Or two, if you're inviting and basically spam connecting with people, and it's not personal and they don't know you, if too many people say they don't know you and don't like you, basically they can throw that restriction on you. Does that make sense? So that's why it's really important that we
It's the same
personalize
thing
it.
Facebook does if
Yeah.
you're just blanket trying to connect with people.
Right.
Friend people up that don't know you.
Exactly. And so what we really want to make sure we do is we personalize it to a purpose and a reason for a conversation.
Yeah.
Now, the connection doesn't have to be like, we're not selling anything, we're not pitching anything on the connection invite.
But you could do something along the lines of, look, hey Mike, you click on this thing and you say, hey Mike, I'm looking to expand a business in the Orlando area. I live in Las Vegas.
Yep.
I wonder if you'd help me take a look at it and see if maybe you can refer me to somebody who can help me with that expansion.
Yep, that'd be a great connection invite. Perfect. Or it can be something even less about the business and more about, hey, I'm moving to the area, I'm building a business out in the area, I'd like to talk with you.
Yeah.
Something that's more general, less like, just the point is to get connected so that we can then initiate the more specific conversation in the follow-ups.
Okay, so you're going to do a search.
Yep.
And then you're going to go to their profile and connect, not the immediate connect.
Right. Go to their
You're going to
profile.
go to their profile and connect, and you're going to put out some sort of a connection that says, hey, I see you're a coach. Congratulations, me too. Mm-hmm. Then what? Then something along what?
So once they've connected, well, that's
Like what did the lady say to the people, the coaches in Sweden?
Oh, she just asked a question. Said, hey, would you be open to jumping on a quick phone call? I have some. What is her specific?
I help coaches.
I help coaches in your area. I help specifically life coaches. I have some experience in the area. Can you give me 15 minutes? Let's have a quick chat.
Right.
So hers was more, let's get on the phone. Mm-hmm. She's not trying to get them interested in the opportunity or the product. She's just trying to network. Once they're on the phone, then she can learn more about them and go through your recruiting masteries.
So whatever that is, you're going to be connecting with purpose and proper messaging. That messaging isn't, hey, join my business.
Right.
Here's a link. Watch this video.
No.
It's to build a connection where you have the opportunity to tell your story, build rapport, do the thing, and help that person understand what it is that you're doing.
Yeah, LinkedIn's not the place to do the selling, guys. It's really important to understand. The selling.
Do that off of the platform.
Do that off the platform. Get them on a phone, on a video conference, in person, whatever that is for you. Use LinkedIn as the means to have that conversation. That's the point.
Okay, so you're going to be connecting with these people, whatever it happens to be, a potential client. And they're used to people connecting to them for that type of stuff. Hey, there might be some mutual benefit here.
For sure.
Let's have a conversation. Get it off the platform, quick as you can. Mm-hmm. Right?
Yep.
Do you recommend people do it on the phone? People do it via Skype? People do it, Zoom calls or?
Yeah, I mean, personally, I'm a big fan of video conferences. If it's not local or if it's local in person, I mean, that rapport is tough to build. So you got to
go like a GoToWebinar or a Skype
or a Zoom
or a Zoom,
any of those. Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So whatever can get face to face. I mean, really, it's about getting you've got to be able to build that trust and credibility and rapport. And over the phone is so hard because so much of what we gift to people is visual.
Right.
So trying to do that is really important.
Yeah. So let's say you target somebody that might have a need for your product or service.
Okay.
Is it okay to contact that person and say, I see you have this need. I have a something that might be a solution for you? Would you, if I shared it with you, would you be open to looking at it?
So this gets down to, yeah, it's a good model and it's a good approach too, because what it really gets down to, guys, is the do's and don'ts of LinkedIn, right? Which is, you can fail forward. Nothing's really wrong. You might get slapped a few times if you do something really bad, but which is typically means you're just selling too fast. You're being insulting. You're not following proper etiquette professionally. But if you follow proper etiquette professionally, you're kind in your communication, you're authentic in what you're asking, it can still be direct and it can still be about your business, and it's not offensive.
So a better solution might be, let's say you have an article, and somebody has a particular need, and you see they have a need, and you can say, hey, I saw you had that need, and I thought I'd send you this article. I thought you'd find it interesting. Hope you have a great day.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you're done. And then you can come back later, if there's some interaction starts, they say, hey, thanks, I really appreciate that. Then you can, at whatever appropriate time, you can have the conversation. Or if you're talking to a real estate agent, you might say, hey, I see you're involved in real estate. I'm actually expanding a business in talking to some people who are connected, in real estate in the Orlando area, because I work with some of them in this area. Here in Las Vegas, I see you're involved in Orlando, I see you do that kind of thing. Here's a strategy that we're using over here that's working really well, and maybe just offer a little value.
Oh yeah, whatever you can do for value add is going to help. I mean, really, this is about building friendships, right? I mean, if you're looking for distributors, ultimately, as we go down the next couple of modules here, we'll get more into some of the specific tactics of what to do. But in terms of just growing your network specifically, like what we're talking about now, the connection part is really not about the value add as much as it is alignment, right? This is really about alignment. So when we get to how do we convert, then we're going to start talking a bit more about like these strategies, which are really powerful.
So one, you're going to be building this profile. Two, you're going to be making connections with people who are like-minded for whatever reason.
Right.
You're going to determine what's like-minded. And maybe one thing, could you come up with a list of, we got all the categories in network marketing, some potential search lists.
Oh, that'd be interesting.
Like a search list for people who have nutrition products, a search list for people who have, wellness or travel or, and could we provide that to them?
Sure. Give me the industries that you want, or the
focus, we'll give you all of them.
Okay, and then what we'll do is we'll give you guys some Boolean search logic, so you just copy and paste that in, and then you can figure out the locations and all that stuff on your own. So just to simplify your search process for you.
Just to start.
Yeah, as a starting point.
You'll get better as you move forward.
And you might see how it works, and you can tweak it a little bit and learn more. Yeah, we can do that.
Perfect. Okay. So you're going to, one, build your profile. Two, you're going to identify the people who have like interests or potential perfect customers or perfect distributor candidates, or likely distributor candidates, or geographic people where you're wanting to build. Let's say your company is just opening up and expanding in the UK. This would be a great tool for you to start building relationship with people in the UK before the launch happens.
Right.
To be able to capitalize on the launch.
Oh my gosh, yeah. I had a friend who had a company launching in Brazil, and before the launch happened, they just networked with about 35 different influencers in Brazil to just let them know what was coming and if they wanted to be involved. It was just easy, just a real easy little strategy, and it's really about, so it's all those things, but it's also identifying who you have influence over based on your experience and your background.
Right.
So you're
going to be building connections. Some of them are going to turn into prospects right away. Some of them are going to be longer tail.
Right.
But that's fine.
Yep.
You're going to be building value, and you're going to be looking for specific, whether it's a campaign about a particular product, you can search that way.
Yep.
If it's a campaign about expanding your business in cities around you,
yep,
or in your local town,
yep,
or by occupation, all of that stuff is literally right at your fingertips. Where Facebook really doesn't give you that.
You don't have that granularity.
What would I call it? The specificity of search. You can do it through your targeted advertising,
right,
but they won't give you a way for you to be able to just send a message to somebody and try and build a connection within that particular niche. All right, great, got it. So now we've done that. We've started. You've started your profile. You've built your profile. You've started to make connections for whatever reason that it's important to you right now at this moment.
Yep.
And now, how do you convert those people into prospects? We talked about a little bit of already.
Yeah, we started diving into this.
Provide some value and make some connection and.
Right. So a couple key things on this in this area. You don't disappear. So this is where a lot of the network marketers are going to disappear.
I do this a lot.
So what happens is you've just initiated this campaign, right? You started connecting with people. Now they've engaged. They've said, yeah, let's connect, and then you're gone.
Because you got to make this a daily discipline, don't you?
You have to make it a daily discipline.
How much time a day, realistically, if you're going to, realistic? Because when I looked at my LinkedIn today, and if I was using this in order to be able to reach you inside the Network Marketing Pro community, it would be one thing. If I was using it to find prospects or something, but I'm not. I mean, I'm just providing kind of global information to everybody.
Right.
So I had 99 plus messages unopened.
It's okay. It happens. But
so I feel bad, right?
Well, here's what really happens. So those people are messaging you, but we're talking about connections that you've reached out to that then said, yeah, let's talk. The only notification you get will be in your email inbox. So you'll actually see that in your primary email that you've set up on LinkedIn. You'll see a notification, Joe Smith just connected with you. Congratulations, start a conversation. And so you can just click the little button in your email and it'll take you to their profile and let you send them a message right there. So it can be really fast. Mm-hmm. 15 to 20 minutes in a day, you can get through anybody if you're running this every single day. If you're doing it really well, it might add time, but the only reason it's adding time is because you're scheduling meetings, and that's the good kind of conversations you want to be having. So what I would say here is this, is that how you convert people is a function of time, speed, and what you say. All right, so the timing is how fast, and the speed and timing really together, is how fast do you respond to people that said yes to your connection and and accepted your invite. And when I say that by speed is like the sooner that you engage them, the better, because some people kind of bounce in and out of LinkedIn, Eric. Like not everybody uses LinkedIn like Facebook. They're not on it like every night before bed checking. They come in maybe once or twice a week and then they're off.
Can you set up notifications?
They can, but most people's habits are that they don't. Now you can set it up for yourself to get the notification when somebody connects or gets a message. For sure, you'll get those. But the other people that are receiving it, they don't. So if you don't respond quick, like they just accepted your invite, well, you better respond pretty quick or they might be off the platform already and it might be next week or the week after before they respond. But as this starts to trickle and you start to build momentum and the ball starts to roll a little bit and you do it consistently, like once or twice a week consistently, not every single day. You don't have to do it every day. But once or twice a week, you're sending out invites to connect. You're personalizing those invites, and they start to engage you. Once they respond, then we need to get on those responses quickly. That's important. So if you just look at it once a day for 5 to 10 minutes, anybody that responds, it's that's just a quick
5 to 10. Call it 5, 10, 15 minutes, depending on if you're in the middle of a big campaign or something, making a bunch of connections.
If you're really into it, it could be more time for sure. But I mean, if you're just doing a baseline and sending out 50 to 100 connections, you're 10 minutes, 15 minutes a day. Right. Write up a template response and then personalize it to that person, and that's your first follow-up message, and you're off and running.
So the key to this whole thing, converting people into prospects, is identifying need, providing value, building a relationship. When the time is appropriate, use "if I would you" to get them off the platform.
Yeah.
Hey, if I sent you my phone number, would you be willing to have a quick conversation to talk about a business idea? Or could we do a little Skype call or a quick Zoom call? If I sent you a link, would you? That type of thing. So the key of all this stuff is to get them off and to be able to say, hey, listen, the only reason I thought of you is because real estate agents do really, really well in my business.
Right. That's right.
And that's why I'm having this conversation with you now. So what you'd say is don't get married on the first date. That's really important. Take your time and have some curiosity. I have a solution for you, but now is not the time. I don't want to talk about it. Here we can talk about it. Let's get face to face and set up a time to be able to do it, professionally.
Yeah.
So the key to this whole thing is kind of professional, right? Mm-hmm. Be professional. Act like a consultant.
Yeah.
I have a solution, but I got to ask you some questions first before I can find out if it's really a fit for you.
Right. That's a really good one. What he just said, guys. Write that one down.
Is that a good one?
That's a good one.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I have a potential solution for you, but before I really identify if it's a natural connection, let's get together face to face and have a conversation to talk about it. I got some questions I need to ask. That type of thing. So, and in that, the best recruiters in all network marketing, they don't give the facts, they ask a lot of questions.
That's right.
So, hey, do you like your experience? What's going on? Are you going to stay in real estate for forever? You've ever thought about doing anything else? What are your entrepreneurial things that you've tried in the past?
Great questions.
Have you tried anything recently?
Mm-hmm.
What's stopping you from doing it?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it's money, maybe it's time, maybe it's risk, those different kinds of things. Right. And network marketing solves those problems in order to be able to do it, so long as they can handle the loss of social esteem from ignorant people. If they can handle that, then they're good. But right and wrong questions, but it's all kind of asking questions and seeking understanding of their situation to be able to see if you have a fit for them.
That's right.
Because if you'll do that, then that's going to be, it's going to help them a lot. So be a friend, be conscious in your communication, be consistent.
Yep.
Don't disappear.
Don't disappear.
And then take it offline.
That's right.
All right.
That's it.
Let's go to the next.
Awesome. Great. Oh, okay. All right. So this is how to convert prospects into customers and distributors is really the flow that you're looking at here is branding and influence, right? So our branding starts everything. We've talked about that. The influence comes from the profile and what we've written on that. We then have to target the right people. So once we've found the right people, then we connect with them. We've just gone through that piece. And then we get to the conversion, which we just talked about, we're about to talk about right now. So conversions become conversations, become friends, then those friends become customers, those customers become distributors, or vice versa. And this is really what we're talking about. Let me see, I think there was one more question here. So this is really all about how well we communicate, Eric, and I think we touched on that.
Connection, conversion, and also value. Connection, conversation, and then value.
Yeah.
In that, you know what I mean? It's like your brand and your influence and all that stuff is one piece of value,
mm-hmm.
but in the great networking organizations that I see, it's you help that person in some way.
Yeah.
You gave them a good idea. You gave them a good strategy. You sent them an article. You remembered them on their birthday. You did, little stuff.
Right.
Little value, little ideas. And in that conversation then, now that you've earned it, you've made some deposits in the emotional piggy bank.
That's right.
Then you can make a little withdrawal and say, hey, let's get together for coffee. We're in the same town.
Right.
Let's go sit at Starbucks or something, and
mm-hmm.
And connect, and we can share ideas. I've got some good ideas some stuff might be a fit for you, maybe not. I'm
mm-hmm.
sure you got some good ideas too.
Mm-hmm.
Let's share good ideas. Let's network. Let's see if I can help your business. Maybe you can help my business. Let's have a networking breakfast or lunch or something.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think that the value doesn't happen if you can't become a friend without the value. Right. You've got to be able to add those deposits. So how do you do that inside of LinkedIn? How do you add that value? So we're connected to these people. So how do we started the dialogue in the last piece, in the last module. Now what we need to really focus on is what are the tools within this particular platform to add that value? And so you can do a few things. One, now we're connected, we can email them inside
mm-hmm.
of the LinkedIn platform.
Mm-hmm.
We can go to their profile and grab their regular email and just email them offline
mm-hmm.
if we want to do that. We might have their phone number, so you can just give them a call and say, hey, mm-hmm. and introduce yourself. That may be a little weird, but you could do it.
Right.
The next thing you could do is more platform-oriented ideas is you can endorse them for skills. You can look at their profile, see what they're really interested in, endorse them. They'll show up on their email.
Give them a little shout out.
Yeah, just a little pop.
Just hey, what I've seen with this person, they do just a tremendous job. That kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm. So there's recommendations, which is more like something personal that you notice from their profile and their experience, which a recommendation.
I get real value from this or whatever, that kind of thing.
Yeah, and if there's something you really do, make sure that's authentic, because getting a recommendation from somebody you don't know is a little weird.
Right.
And then you're like, well, why are they sending this for me?
Yeah.
But if you're doing,
it's not necessarily a fake. It's not a fake tactic or something. It's just,
no, not at all. But it can be very real. Like you might have, they might be an influencer to you in some way, or
maybe
something.
they put up some articles or some different things, and you enjoy it.
Right, could be any of those. Endorsements is actually skills. So like there's this thing on LinkedIn where you have all these different skills and people endorse you for skills, and it's just like click 5 and then off it goes. And so that shows up on their feed too. Once you're connected, you'll get notifications on LinkedIn. There's a notifications button. It looks like a little bell on the top part of the screen. Let me see if I can just pull it up real quick here. So if on my screen, you'll just see this on the notification section. It's just a feed of all the notifications for the day. Scroll through it and just go through, and then anybody, you'll see a few things here. This person published an article, you could go look at it. These are all action items of daily activity that you could do something with your network. There's a couple, I'm just seeing if there's any in here, it doesn't look like it. They will say, oh, here's a work anniversary, see who's celebrating, so I can click on that, and then I can just say congrats to all these people and write a personal note. So if you wanted to get really intimate with these guys and really like add value, it's kind of annoying because I get so many when I get one because I have so many connections, but the people that write something intimately and personally
versus just the click.
I always respond to them. You know, and I'm really busy, but I always respond to those because they took the time. There's a template that happens with the congrats, the normal one, but if you personalize it and say a little something about them, it really can touch somebody. You know, it's just different.
It's different.
Yeah, it's just different. So a few things, and then the last thing I would just say is for the people that you're really interested in pursuing, is track it. You know, write down their names once you've invited them, once they've connected with you. Create some structure and organization so you know and can remind yourself to follow up with them, and follow up with them once or twice a month just to stay top of mind.
Well, I'm a very tactical person, so and I like paper.
Yeah.
So I like to have your prospects in a journal. I like to have it on paper to know where it's at and to go
We're
back.
very different.
Yeah, I know. You're
I
like,
could not do that.
I love paper tactical stuff. So it's going to be a different prospect, a different, if I connect with somebody on LinkedIn and I write their information down and I put the last time I was in connection with them and I put that in that journal and I go back and I'm reviewing that from time to time, that's part of a particular campaign, I'm going to remember that 1,000 times better.
For sure.
Than if I have to go remember what happened with that person at such and such a time.
Right.
And so if I use LinkedIn only for this, to go build another 500 prospects, and I have a LinkedIn journal with 500 prospects that are in different stages of communication. I'm going to convert 10% of those over time.
Yep.
I'm going to recruit 50 people out of there. It's not going to cost me anything to do it. They're going to be very targeted people. Maybe I just want to build one particular city, or maybe my hometown.
That's right. Yeah.
I can do that, but for me, if it lives on the platform, it disappears for me on the platform. You know, the scroll keeps happening, and the connections just become a number. And it's even with my friends on Facebook, it's like I don't engage with all those people.
Right.
I have 3,000 or something friends, and I purge that from time to time because I don't even know some of these people. I don't even know how they got on there. And like 100,000 people follow, but if I was building, whether it's on that list or on LinkedIn, if it lives there, it's not real.
Yeah, you got to get it into what you use.
Yes,
what's personal
whatever that
to
is.
you.
If you want to do a spreadsheet, fine.
Right.
If you want to use an app that your company has, fine. Whatever it happens to be. But if it's out of sight, it's out of mind.
Yeah.
For me, if it's in sight, then I have a plan.
That's right.
So I would use me personally. If I was a distributor today, what I would do, I would put a kick-ass profile up.
Yep.
I would target my company, my business, to be able to go out there, and I would search for those people that are my perfect distributor in the geographic areas that I wanted to focus on at this moment. And then I would make a connection with 500 to 1,000 people, and I would go deep with those connections versus wide with 10,000.
It's really important, guys.
I would go deep with 500 to 1,000, and I would build value in their lives. And over the course of 30 days, I would see how many of those people I could have a conversation with. And in that process, I would use that as a campaign maybe for an entire year.
Yeah.
Okay, so if I've got 1,000 people, ultimately I'm going to have 500 conversations, which means I'm going to have, maybe 300 interactions of, as face-to-face of some sort.
Right.
and I'm going to be able to recruit, 100 of them,
Awesome.
50 to 100 out of 1,000, right?
Yeah.
I mean, just historically. So I have that as a campaign to say, now I want to go open up Japan.
Yep, and there you go.
I'm
Same
looking
thing.
for multilingual in Japan.
Oh, it's so
And then
awesome.
I would hit that, and I would do that, and that would be my next campaign. Or I want to hit Dallas, Texas, or I want to hit, Amsterdam.
It's really strategic. Guys, this is so strategic. It's like mind-blowing. It's so awesome. When I think of the networkers that I work with, and what Eric just walked you through is also the only way to do it, because you can't connect with 10,000 people.
No, you got to go deep. If you want to build rapport, you have to go deep.
You have to. And the other's just busy work, and that will just waste your time.
Yep, and you feel all cool because you have all these connections. It doesn't mean shit. Pardon my language. It just doesn't matter.
Right.
I would rather, if you're involved in a niche, I would rather that you go and have great relationship with 50 prospects, and you provide enormous value to those 50, because they'll recommend you to others, and you'll recruit 5 of them for sure. If you go deep with the 50 versus having 5,000 and you think you're so cool because you have 5,000, it doesn't mean anything. Right. It's like everybody, remember when people got on Facebook and they raced to see if they can get to 5,000 friends as fast as possible, friending up everybody?
I had people paying for friends.
Paying for friends to get to 5,000 friends. So it doesn't mean anything if they're not engaged with you, if it's not a real relationship. It doesn't mean anything in our business.
Right.
Now, if you want to have the ego of having your maxed out followers, knock yourself out.
Right.
Go do that. If you want to have the prestige of being one of the most connected LinkedIn people, like you are.
I am. But listen, I didn't invite them. I didn't
No,
go after
I'm
them,
not.
right?
I'm not blaming you for that. But I'm just saying.
But I don't know. I don't know most of them.
That's part of your strategic. I got your thing on your deck.
Well, thanks.
That's part of your strategic business, right? That's what you do. But I would rather you go deep.
Right.
Right.
Yep.
For network marketing.
For sure.
Target it. Make a kick-ass profile. Target it. Build relationship with those people. Get it. Figure out a way to track it, whether it's through a spreadsheet or on paper. I'm a paper guy, but if you're a spreadsheet person, do that, and then really build value. Because when you do that, now you have you'll turn that cold market warm.
That's right.
And when you turn that cold market warm, now you got people who will want to listen to you because you're providing value.
That's right. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's just cool.
Okay. Cool. Well, that for me summarizes this whole thing, because frankly, I'm like you. I think there's so many dang platforms. It's just like, where
do you start?
How do you figure it out? It's like, you're supposed to be Snapchatting, and you're supposed to be Vining, and you're supposed to be Periscoping. No, now it's not Periscope. No, it's Facebook Live. No, now they're throttling Facebook Live. Now it's, Zoom. Okay, it's like so much.
There's a lot.
But here, the thing that differentiates this, I think, from all the other stuff is the ability to target and build direct connection.
That's it.
That's the differentiator. So if you want to target a city, a demographic, psychographic, gender, age.
You can't do age. Well, there's ways to do age. I'll talk more about that, but there's not really.
All right. If you target within reason, if you want to target within reason, it gives you the ability to do it like a laser.
Yeah, like a laser. Yep.
You could pick within 1 mile of you, probably.
I have 5.
5 miles of you. It's a pretty good deal to be able to do that.
Right.
Okay. So all right. So what's next?
All right. Great. So let's. So basically, this one don't do this. So
don't use LinkedIn. Some of the other platforms you can use in order to be able to train and communicate your team, but here it's not the place for it.
Yep.
I agree.
Okay. Moving on. All right. And then this is my favorite particular topic here. So LinkedIn is a place to duplicate. So everything that Eric's walked through, everything I've walked you through here, where we build your profile, you find the right market, you have an invite script, you have a follow-up script, and you test this over time, it just allows you to do everything with ease. So here's a few steps for us. So first thing, we brand ourselves. We talked about that a few times over, right? Once you've done that, give your team, so for every organization, you're going to have some version or approach that you want to use that you're going to find that really works for you. Right now, if you're doing this, you're probably right at the cusp. You're one of the leaders in the organization using LinkedIn, because very few people use LinkedIn really well. All right, so what you're going to do is you're going to be building the duplication system as you go. Now, as you're going through it, make sure you're writing things down. You're seeing what's working, what's not, so you can share both the successes and the failures with your team as you grow. Now, find who you have influence over with. That's part of the finding and the targeting that we've talked about, right? And then here's a real simple strategy. Just once you've done the profile optimization, just connect with 100 people a week for 2 or 3 weeks, maybe 5 weeks total. Find 500 people, but personalize those invitations. Now, it's going to take you a little time to do that. But that time that you put into the personalized connections is going to be worth millions to you, thousands to you, whatever it is.
Some number.
Some amazing number, whatever that is, whatever you value your organization, right? In terms of connections, it's going to be worth a lot. And then we're going to find a way from there, once they've connected with you, make sure we follow up with the short questions to open up the conversations, okay? So keep it real simple. Find out those questions that are working for you specifically and use that as your template follow-up that you can then share with your team.
Like some questions, for example.
So questions would be, let's give an example. If you're, let's do coaching because I've been on that track all day. So if you're a coach, how's your coaching business going for you?
Just open-ended questions.
Just totally open-ended questions and leave it at that. Let them respond so they can, it might even be something, I like your background, a compliment, and then a question. I know you talk a lot about that in your skills. So a compliment and question, impressive profile, like your work that you've done with XYZ company or whatever, and so forth, and then say, how's the coaching practice going for you? Question mark, and then leave it at that. Don't.
How long you been involved?
Yeah, how long you been coaching?
Doing it?
Yeah, something that will just open the dialogue and start that dialogue and say, hey, would you mind jumping on a quick call once you've had a few back and forths?
Yep.
That's pretty simple. It's not really complicated, guys. And once that's going and you've found some models that work, record those and let your team use those on the invite and the follow-up questions. You might have 1 or 2, 3 follow-ups that you do. If they don't respond,
try to avoid the super canned ones.
Yeah.
Like when somebody will follow you and you follow them back or something. Hey, thanks for the follow. You can always see that it's just cheesy and baloney.
Yeah.
I'm really excited about my, da 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 da. Check it out. Here's my link. Or
don't point them to an article.
It's just like, it's just gross.
Be curious about them.
Yeah.
Really be curious about them.
Ask
and
questions.
Be intrigued. Ask questions and be authentic with that. And then you do those things. One other thing we haven't really touched on today is a lot of people are busy and they just don't follow up to the first message. So don't be afraid to send a second or a third. Hey, did you see that first?
Just have thin skin. Don't have thin skin.
Don't have thin skin with it, but be polite. Don't be salesy. Don't be talking about your opportunity on the first message. Those sorts of things, general. But then follow Eric has his I think your complimentary 7 skills to recruiting mastery. Perfect. Use that.
Find that in
GoPro.
If you haven't seen that.
Yeah, and that's it. And from there, congratulations. You guys have a duplicable system that will work for you, and without a doubt, you will be creating conversations, and you'll have the opportunity to share your business.
Well, here's the thing. What I want now, there's a lot of material that's going to be in the workbook.
Yeah.
Step by step by step. Templates, the whole thing.
Yeah.
Scripts, we'll give the search things, the power statement.
Yep.
All of these different things.
Yep.
But let me just dumb it down and make it simple, okay? Listen to me. Everything big starts small, and everything that's professional starts as an amateur. And it's okay to start as an amateur. Just don't make really bonehead mistakes that hurt your brand while you're doing it. So that's why you have this. So it's okay to start small. It's preferable. And it's okay for you not to have all the answers and all the solutions in order to take action. Most of the learning is in the doing. Okay, you're not going to learn. That's where he learned to be an expert, is just starting, seeing the potential, and then starting to mine this platform for value. And that's what I would encourage you to do, is mine this platform for value. There's lots of ways that you can get leads, quote unquote. You could buy leads from people and then call these strangers on the phone. You can connect with people on Facebook and other platforms in order to be able to generate and build connection. Or you can network your way to leads. So whether you are using this because you want extra people to talk to about your network marketing business, if you have burned out your warm market and are a little bit worried, and you want to have something to build a fresh story again. Maybe you've done more than one network marketing company in your history, and because of that, you're insecure about it and you're afraid to talk to your friends and family, or they're giving you a hard time, or whatever. You've got some dynamic that is gnawing at you in your brain. This is a platform to start over. This is a platform for you to hit the reset button. This is a platform for you to create a profile and build relationships, provide tons of value to those connections and relationships, and then achieve your goal of education and understanding. Your goal should be to educate the people you're connecting with about what it is that you have to the point that they understand it. And that then it'll either be for them or it won't. But if you want to target your hometown and network with people in your hometown, if you want to target people in a different city, if you want to target people of certain demographic or a certain job group or certain titles, you have a laser ability to do that. You have the ability to connect to people of like mind with simple search, and then once you do that, provide value. Provide tons of value to those people. Ask tons and tons of questions in order to be able to build rapport. And once you build rapport, it's like a bridge. Then you can transfer belief. Okay? Once you build a connection with that person, then you can transfer belief and belief in terms of their education and understanding. You know, if they get to a point where they understand it, they'll choose to believe it or not. At least they'll understand it. And that's all we're trying to accomplish. And what the most successful people do is they expand their networks in every possible direction. They put as many lines in the water as they can. We are in the networking business. So should you talk to your friends and family? Of course, that's a line in the water. Should you meet new people as you continue with your life and network on purpose? Of course, drop another line in the water. Should you be part of a networking group in your local town or local city? Of course, drop another line in the water. Should you use Facebook to be able to do it? Yes. Should you use LinkedIn? I hope by the time you're done with this, your answer is yes. This is a good tool for me. And it's worth being a little uncomfortable while I figure it out. Okay? Because you'll get better. You'll get stronger. You'll figure it out. But the learning is in the doing, and you have to start. Okay? So as many times you want to watch this conversation, watch as many times as you want. It's not a 7-hour course here in order to be able to do it. We've given you the summary of doing this. Build a profile, start connecting with people, build real relationship with those people, and then as you provide value, educate them to the point that they understand what it is you have to offer, and teach your team to do the same thing. That's the fundamentals of this. But the workbook's going to help you a lot. I hope if you're already a part of Social Media Mastery that you're enjoying that. The principles that are encompassed in there will apply to this as much as any other platform. If you're not a member of Social Media Mastery, you can upgrade. I'm sure there's a link on this page somewhere to upgrade to get that course in addition. We'll give you credit for the purchase of this course as you get the bigger course. So I'd highly suggest that you do that. This is something that I've decided, social media is not going anywhere.
Nope.
The platforms are not going anywhere. We have an opportunity, and I believe we're still at the cutting edge, and all the beachfront property is still available.
Yep.
We have an opportunity to master this and win.
Yep.
And the people who get smartest at this stuff are going to win.
For sure.
Okay? So I hope you got value from this. I hope you go out there. I can't wait to hear your success stories about LinkedIn. Nathan,
yep.
Thanks for providing some value. Thanks for all the work that you did behind the scenes to kind of do this, create the workbook and templates and everything else, and be able to put all this together. But until next time, everyone, go out there, link up with the people in the world that are looking for the value that you have. Our wish for you is that you decide to become a network marketing professional. You decide to go pro, because it is a stone cold fact that we have a better way. Now let's go tell the world. Everybody have an amazing day. Get out there, make your LinkedIn profile happen, and we'll see you next time. Take care, everybody.